have to be your biggest fan. And when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that. Because you don't know who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet, who you're going to meet.
All right, guys, thank you for coming out. We're pretty happy with this turnout. It's something that we want to do, every month. We've kind of done it sporadically, throughout the years. And finally, Josh called me one night. He had gone to a trip in Arizona and went to a mastermind. And he was like, man, everybody's just making so much money down there, and they're all dumb. Like, nobody's, any smarter than us. And all they did really well was that's what he said. But they network really well, and they do deals together and they share. So that's our goal for this. So that's the plan. We're going to do this every month, and we'll probably switch locations, I think, at this point, but stay tuned.
So this group's called Northwest Investors. The name doesn't matter, but what does matter is that everybody in this room is thinking about real estate, is investing in real estate, is actively pursuing opportunities in real estate. If you look around this room, there's a lot of younger people. We are the next generation. So my goal for this group and for us as a whole is to work together, provide value to each other, network, and build the community up as high as we possibly can. So when I got into real estate, it was like Keith knows, but my goal is to make Spokane a great town, right? When I was a kid, and like a lot of people when they were younger, Spokane was always just a great middle class town, and it still is a great town. But there's a lot of issues with it, and I think through real estate and through investing and through working together, we can elevate it to the next level. So my whole goal in bringing all these people together is to really get it to the next level. That being said, how I'm planning on doing that, the second Thursday of every month, we're going to meet 4 to 7. The venue's going to change. Some different things are going to be different as far as the speakers. We're going to be bringing in guest speakers from all around the country. A guy named Matt Larson does 30 flips a month. So all you guys that do flips can imagine, like, one flip is a headache. He has it down to a system where he's doing 30 a month every single month, right? So would you guys like to hear from a guy like that on how he's doing it? So I'm buying his plane ticket, flying him up here, having him stay at our Airbnb, and he's going to come in and talk to everybody and tell you exactly how he does it. So what we want to do is provide complete transparency. We want to provide openness in everything we do. So if you guys have any questions on what we do, how we do it, who we do it with, what we're looking at, how we market stuff, where we spend our money, where we try to save money, please ask, because I want everyone to know, because rising tides raise all ships, and that's my philosophy in life. So the more that we can do as a community, the higher level that we can get to, and it just makes Spokane great again, to sound really horrible. But tonight we had Landon. Landon lost his voice, so he's going to speak briefly about hard money. So one of the major concerns that we run into with all our investment properties is everybody's like, man, I really like that deal. Do you guys do FHA financing? I'm like, no, I don't. But we do have other lenders in the area that provide cash, private lending, hard money sources. Most of you guys are familiar with this, but some of you may not be. And Landon is a great source to go to when you're trying to get started in this area. So without any further ado, this is Landon Cunningham.
Thanks for having me tonight. My name is Landon Cunningham. I'm with Inland Capital. We're a private lender here in Spokane. We fund individuals buying investment properties anywhere in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. We've been in business since 2008. A little background on myself and kind of how I got into private money and investment real estate. Kind of like to give a little bit of a background, because there's a lot of private lenders out there, hard money lenders out there, and we've come to find that our clients appreciate knowing that we come from an investment background, that we invest in real estate, we invest back in the community, and they're not just talking to a lender that's going to take the deal up the hierarchy to see if it can get accomplished. So I grew up in the Seattle area. My brother is kind of the one I attribute to getting me involved in real estate. He started buying flip properties in 2001, kind of long before it was popular, before HGTV, Chip and Joanna Gaines, and everybody kind of made flipping kind of sexy. Nobody was really talking about flipping properties in 2001 and 2002. Information was a lot harder to gather back then. It's amazing how easy information is to gather now, even versus when I got started in 2008. So him and his business partner, they started flipping properties 2001, 2002 in the Seattle area. The first one they did, they made about $80,000 on, and that got them extremely motivated to kind of continue down that road. They had to utilize private money because they didn't have the full, all of the capital to be able to purchase the property, do the rehab, and bring it to market and then do another one. So they utilized private money. Him and his business partner did about 150 flips from 2001 until 2006. In 2006, the market was so hot in Seattle, kind of started to make them a little nervous, and they decided they were going to relocate to Spokane and start offering some services that weren't offered here, but were offered over on the west side of the state in King, Pierce, Snohomish County. So they moved over here, and I got to start working with them in 2008, 2009. Essentially what we do now, we have a service where we help people buy at the trustee sale in Spokane. So I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but the term kind of distressed real estate or foreclosure kind of gets thrown around there a lot, but there's so many different pieces to it. You can have the pre-foreclosure side, you have the short sale side, then you have the trustee sale side, and then after that you have the bank-owned properties. So we assist people in purchasing all of those properties, but we run a group where we help people buy specifically at the trustee sale in Spokane. But our lending arm can finance anybody buying distressed properties anywhere, Washington, Oregon, or Idaho. They can be bank-owned properties, estate sales, anything like that. One of the newest programs that we've rolled out has been in partnership with auction.com. We have set up where we can now have remote bidding on any trustee sale in Washington, Oregon, or Idaho. So typically the process has been, if you want to buy a property at the trustee sale, you have to go down with cashier's checks in hand. We have streamlined that process and launched a program with auction.com where if there is any auction.com trustee sale in Washington, Oregon, or Idaho, you can let us know 48 hours before the sale happens. We have an escrow account set up with auction.com. We send them a wire and provide recording information on that property, and you can bid on that property in any of those counties, in any of those states, without having to go to the auction or bring funds down to the auction. So it's just kind of another way real estate has really changed. That information used to be extremely hard to gather, and now you're able to bid at trustee sales without even having to go down to them. So again, Landon Cunningham with Inland Capital. My voice is going to go. I apologize for that. I hope to have the opportunity to chat with some of you guys over the next couple weeks, and really appreciate this group being put on, and looking forward to developing relationships. And just like Josh said, hopefully we can all work together and be a benefit to each other. So thank you for your time.
Yeah, before we adjourn, I just want to talk a little about what each of us do. So my name is Danny, for those that don't know me. I run a virtual wholesaling business.
I'm not purposely trying to.
You're messing me up here. We're in 5 markets. I wanted to bring my team up here real quick. Team.
Team assembled.
Josh and he's all part of the team. Just joking. I thought you were going to sit down. What are we doing?
All right, so yeah, if each of you just want to explain your name, your role, and what you do in the company.
My name's Nathan. I'm the secretary at the front desk. Handle all paperwork. That's about it.
I'm Alicia. I'm marketing and office manager.
Melissa, transaction coordinator.
My name is Seth. I'm a senior acquisitions salesman.
I'm AJ. I'm the dispositions manager. I've been the one sending out the deals. I'm from Sell Simple, so hope to meet you guys.
I'm Yolan, and I'm junior acquisitions manager, and so I'm on the sales side of it.
I'm Crystal, and I'm also a junior act.
I'm Mike Evans. I'm also a senior acquisition. I'm Jeff, senior acts and cornhole champ.
Awesome. So yeah, the reason I wanted you guys to get to know them is just like Josh said, if you guys have questions, feel free to ask them. They all specialize in what they do, and they're all really good at what they do. So from acquisitions, Alicia, she also manages the Airbnbs. I know a lot of people ask me about that. Guys, I don't even know how to log into my Airbnb account, so she's the expert in that. But otherwise, I think from here, you want to talk about what you do, or? Okay.
I do real estate stuff. That's about it. Like, I just buy properties, I sell properties, I wholesale properties, I do whatever makes sense. Alright, so as each deal comes in, I evaluate them case by case basis, and then we go from there. I work closely with the Synergy Group. A lot of them showed up tonight. It's a great agency out of Spokane. So without them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. All those guys basically made me who I am in real estate and investing. And just through like mentorship with Keith Riddle, I've learned a lot, grown a lot, and that's where I'm at right now. So as far as like real estate investments or wholesales or any of that stuff, you feel free to ask me any kind of question you want, what we're doing, how we're doing it, and who we're doing it to. So other than that, I think we're basically, the whole purpose of this meeting is just kind of getting everybody together, getting the ball rolling. We can do some Q&A right now with everybody. If you guys have any questions for anyone specifically about funding, about virtual wholesaling, about wholesaling traditional real estate stuff, just feel free to ask a question. So, is there any questions out there right now? Okay, go ahead.
How do you decide your funding? How do you proceed to decide if somebody's qualified to get the escrow to go to the auction?
Excuse me. Thank you. Yeah. The question was how do you decide if we're going to qualify somebody to bid at on a property?
Right.
Now, are you preferring or referring specifically to trustee sale properties?
Yeah, at the auction.
At the auction. So we are going to have a conversation with them. I kind of let everybody we work with know we're a common sense lender. Like, we don't have to do appraisals before we do funding. We're going to have a conversation with the borrower. If we're comfortable doing the deal, we're going to want to know a little bit about your experience. Is this the first flip you've ever done? Have you worked in construction before? Have you done multiple flips before? So we're going to have that conversation. We are going to verify the value of the property. Primarily, we're an asset-based lender. So that's not to say we don't look at credit. The main thing we're going to look for, though, is to make sure the individual isn't currently delinquent. If somebody went through a divorce last year or the year before, their credit isn't up to par, that's something that can be overlooked. If they're currently delinquent on stuff, we probably don't want to do a loan for you, because if you're currently not paying somebody else, how do we know that you're going to be paying us? And our goal is that we fund individuals that are buying properties for below market value. They make a profit. We provide a loan for them, and then they pay us off, and they come back and they use us again and again. Primarily, though, we're going to verify the deal is being purchased for below market value where there is profit potential in it, and then they're also going to need to come in with a down payment on the property. For any properties that are selling at the trustee sale, we're going to look for a down payment minimum between 10% or 15% of the purchase price of the property. There is one way around it where we do fund 100% of the purchase price, and that is if we're dealing with a individual that owns other investment properties that have solid equity in them. So if they own a duplex, a triplex, a single family rental property that has significant equity in it, we can actually put a second position lien on that property, and the equity they have in that property will suffice as their down payment for the new property, where we're funding 100% of the purchase price, limits the capital they have out of pocket. So their return, their cash on cash return is going to be significantly higher, and we still feel protected because they're buying something for below market value and they're willing to put up another piece of collateral that they own. So, yeah.
Good question over here. It's fine. I can talk about it.
Yell it out.
So I had a question for you, if that's all right.
Yeah.
My name's Dan. I want to buy my first wholesale deal this year. I'm really excited because my big question for you is, do you have an option where you will fund 100% of the property? And I know you just answered him about something else, but where I provide the funding for all repairs. Is that an option that you guys have?
So traditionally, I would ask, do you own a rental property or anything like that that we potentially could cross collateralize with? It's the answer. If the answer is no to that, I would say we would be willing to look at the deal. And one thing you can count on is we're a smaller company, but we have a lot of money to lend, and I will get back to you right away. So I'm not going to drag you along for days, and then you're going to get closer to closing, and then all of a sudden, no, sorry, we're not going to be able to fund the deal. I'll be able to let you know very, very quickly whether or not that is something that we can do. In general, though, we have found individuals that buy properties that come in with down payments on those properties are more successful than individuals that get involved in real estate that have no money or skin involved in the game for themselves. So it's in our benefit because we feel like our loan is in better position when somebody's coming in with the down payment, and we also feel like they watch their project, they pinch their pennies a lot more when they're coming up, knowing that they're signing on the dotted line and they've come up with 10% of that purchase price. That said, if the deal is good enough, we will fund 100%.
Can I have a follow-up question?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
So if I put down 10 to 20%,
yes.
do you have an account for repairs that I can
Yes, yes.
Okay, all right.
Yep.
Sorry, I didn't know.
Yeah, I thought you were asking if we would fund 100% of the purchase price.
No, I just didn't understand. I'm new to this, so.
That's okay. No, in general, I kind of like Josh said, like, if the deal makes sense, there's a way to get the deal done. And that's kind of the way I think all of us would look at any deal. Like if you found a deal, right now that's one of the hard things that we see a lot of our clients struggling with is finding a really good deal. If you find a really good deal, we will find a way to fund the deal for you. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.